Hi guys, so let's go over the syllabus for this semester. This is Biology 2404, Introduction to Human Anatomy and Physiology, and I am your instructor, Dr. Heather Brazier. My office phone number is 281-290-2637, but I ask you not to call that. I don't check it all the time, and I'm not always in my office. The best way to contact me is through two means. The first way that I always tell people to contact me is through D2L. And so if you go into your D2L course, you could just hit where it says message and then contact me. I ask you that you don't actually email me through the lonestar.edu. I get so many emails, and a lot of times your email ends up in my spam folder, and I can't always promise that I'll find it. And sometimes it doesn't deliver at all. So the D2L is by far the best way. If there's an emergency and you need something a little bit quicker, you can text me at 409-392-5787. Text only, do not call me. I will not answer your phone calls. And please don't do this extremely late at night. Now, to let you know a little bit about the course, this is a 96 contact hour course. So you get 3 credit hours for that. 3 hours of the total 4 goes for lecture, and 3 hours goes for lab. Now, 96 credit hours means in a regular semester, 16 week course, you would be meeting 3 hours a week for lecture, 3 hours a week for lab. But we're doing this in only 4 weeks. This is 1 week longer than the typical 3-hour course because, of course, we have that extra hour for lab. So if you were taking this face-to-face with me, you would be required to meet me for 12 hours of lecture and 12 hours of lab. That's 24 hours, right? So that's basically, you would be talking to me 6 hours a day. I like to point that out so that when you're doing the work, that you understand that it is a lot of work. The state of Texas dictates what content that's supposed to be covered in this course. They're called student learner objectives. And just because you take this in 4 weeks instead of 16 weeks doesn't mean that I can reduce the amount of material. So you're going to be working a lot. Now, 6 hours would just be the amount of time you would be sitting in class with me. That would not include the amount of time you would have to study on your own to prepare for lab exams and lecture exams or homework. So please keep that in mind. I've had people that have had to work anywhere from 8 to 14 hours a day to complete this course. But then again, you are completing this class in 4 weeks, 25% of the time than a normal semester course. Now, both your lab and your lecture are online. And this is considered a summer 2018 course. Now, if you need to find more details on the course, you can go to this link and it'll tell you. The course catalog description is basically, this is general survey of the structure and function of the human anatomy and physiology. Anatomy being the actual names of the parts. The physiology is how they work. Includes the neuroendocrine, integumentary, which is skin, muscular, skeletal, digestive, urinary, reproductive, respiratory, lymphatic, and circulatory system. And realize that a lot of these are subdivided into several different parts. For instance, the circulatory system is going to include blood, which is the means that basically you get material throughout your body. It's going to be blood vessels. It's going to be the part, looking at the anatomy of the heart. And then it's going to be talking about the physiology of all of it. So there's a lot in each one of those basically systems. Now, the student learning outcome, basically you have to demonstrate an understanding of all the important physiological processes of the stated system, as well as fluid electrolyte balance, nutrition, metabolism, pregnancies, embryology, fetal development, and human genetics. You're going to demonstrate how the systems interact to maintain homeostasis in the human body. So that's that nice internal balance that the body is able to create and maintain. You're going to be able to describe the interrelationships between anatomy and physiology in each organ system that's listed, develop a vocabulary of biomedical terms that relate to the human body, explain the principles of homeostasis, and basically your entire body and all the organ systems are doing their part to maintain homeostasis. And we're going to talk about when they become imbalanced, what happens, and those are disease states. You have to be able to identify the important anatomical structures in each human system, relate the principles of biological chemistry as they apply to the human body. You'll realize that the physiology of the body is basically the chemistry of the body. And you'll be employing teamwork for shared purpose or goal. In our effort to prepare you for the changing world, you will be expected to utilize computer technology that you're enrolled in this class. It's a completely online class. So you are expected to have a certain amount of competency coming into this. I can't stress how important this is, considering it's a completely online class and you have 4 weeks to do it. So you need to be able to use basically D2L, which is our online system, and basically McGraw-Hill Connect. You're going to have materials in both of these quizzes. Your grades are going to be here. And if you don't know how to use it, you need to go and immediately start going in it, asking for help, asking for questions. Please do not ask me where things are, because I'm going to go through a whole video on how your class works. So if you really want to be in tune with how everything's working, you really need to watch the second part of the video here. Now, there are prerequisites, English 304 or English 365, and English 306 or English 375 or higher level courses like English 1301, or placement by testing and Math 306. Now, you are expected to purchase the following material: Wholes Essential of Human Anatomy and Physiology with Connects and Learnsmart. This is the picture of the book right here. You have to get this book. It's where all of your homework and a lot of your lab practicals and some of your exams will be. So it's imperative that you buy this, and you need it the very first day of class. So please, you can borrow it. You do have to end up buying an online component for it. So if you wanted a hardback book, you can borrow it, you can rent it, you can buy a used copy of it, however you like there. You need to get the online homework component that also includes a e-version of the book, so you don't actually have to have a hard version if you don't like. This is explaining how to register. You need to go into the D2L course. There's a part that says Introduction to the Course, and that is going to tell you everything that you need. This I will update and give you the correct link. But if you just go into the actual Introduction to the Course, there's a whole tab that gives you the information to register for the course, and it gives you the link. And the link in there is a link that you'll want to use, because that's going to sync the grades between the Connect to the D2L. So I'll be able to sync the two and transfer the grades over from one to the other, so that you can keep basically tabs on how you're doing throughout the semester. Now, attendance. You're expected to actually sign into the course at least 4 times each week to participate in the class during those sessions, and to follow the same attendance as the traditional classes offered on campus. So if you were on campus, you would sign in 4 times a week. So you should be doing that. If you do not sign into D2L or Connect, or fail to complete your work as scheduled, that demonstrates poor progress towards obtaining the course goals or objectives, and it's basically detrimental to learning course material. If you fail to log into D2L and you're demonstrating poor progress, I will administratively withdraw you after contacting you in D2L first through an email. If you don't get an email from me, I'm not withdrawing you. But if you are showing that you are not completing stuff, I will email you to schedule some time to talk. If you don't respond to that, then I will email and tell you that I'm dropping you from the course. But do not expect me to drop you from the course unless you have an email from me stating that I am. Now, if you only log in twice a week, but you finish all your material, then obviously I'm not going to withdraw you. It's just standard is 4 times, and that's about the average that it takes, working anywhere from 4 to 6 hours each one of those days to complete the material. Now, there's no tardy because you can log in whenever you want, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, how are the grades going to be assigned? Well, to begin with, there's lecture exams. There's a total of 5 lecture exams. They'll be given throughout the semester. This is the tentative course schedule. The lowest exam will be dropped, and each exam is worth 80 points. So in here, the first semester exam is going to cover information that's in Unit 1 of your book. So that's chapters 1 through 5. Now that's a lot, and that will open the first week of class. All of this is due on Thursday, and then essentially your test will open on Friday. Now the test is already going to be basically put together and opened today, on Monday. And so, yeah, it seems like a lot of material. The point being, though, is most of chapters 1 through 4 are information that pertains to general biology. So you should have some understanding of general biology, whether it came from high school or if you've taken a non-majors or majors biology already. So those tend to go pretty quickly, even in a regular semester, because we assume that this is review material. And then tissues will be the very first part that's kind of new. Now, the second semester exam covers material in Unit 2, and you can see that starts with the Integumentary System, which is skin, goes into skeletal system and the muscular system. And then you can continue down to see that it's then Unit 3, Unit 4, and then Unit 5 are covered for the 5 exams. Now, the mastering homework is worth 180 points. There are 20 homework assignments this semester. They're each worth 10 points. They're online through the McGraw-Hill Connect website. These homeworks are designed and administered to help promote mastery of these course objectives that are required for this course. Once started, you have until the deadline to complete and submit them. So you can basically start on one day and work on them a little bit and then complete them the next day. The system allows for multiple attempts, and it's designed to kind of help you with the concepts and calculations of the material. So basically how it works is when you do the homework, if you get it wrong the first time, it'll allow you to retry it. Now, each time you retry the answer, you do get a small number of points off. But what's nice about this, it's not kind of like an exam assessment or a quiz where you try once. If you get it wrong, you lose all the points. It's there to help you basically master the material by giving you several attempts to do it. And you can see here the 20 homeworks that you have. And I've basically bolded them and then grade them out so that you know which ones align with each exam and where they fall together. The sum of the 18 highest grades from these homeworks will be your homework grades. So the 2 lowest grades will be dropped. And they're due at 11:59 p.m. the day they're assigned. The Learnsmart study modules are 20 modules. It's a total of 90 points. Each is based on completion and worth 5 points. And so basically, the sum of the highest 18 grades from these Learnsmart study modules is a module grade. That means the lowest 2 will be dropped. They, again, are due at 11:59 p.m. the day they're assigned. Now, these work a little bit different than the homework. These you should be doing first. And basically, you're just going to go through and they're going to ask you questions. And they're going to ask you how confident you are in the answers you're providing. Maybe you don't know it at all, and then you'll check that. Maybe you think you know it. Maybe you know it. And just by trying to answer these and putting in your confidence level, you're going to get 5 points. So this is a completion grade, and this is to help you basically go through the chapters to learn what's most important. Now, the laboratory grade is worth 260 total points, and it's divided into two parts. The first is the laboratory assignments, and those are 160 points. The semester lab grade will be composed of a combination of Learnsmart labs, lab physio activities, and a histology lab. There are 17 Learnsmart labs. They're worth 5 points each. One of these will be dropped. There are 16 lab physio activities. They also are worth 5 points, and one will be dropped. Finally, there is one histology assignment worth 5 points. That activity will not be dropped. It's very important. We look at histology throughout the whole semester, so there's a whole section that reviews it at the beginning, and then we hit back on it over and over and over throughout the semester. These activities will be summed for 160 points total, and they are due at 11:59 p.m., the date they're assigned. There are 2 lab practicals. These are lab exams that will test over the information from these 3 different components. Each is worth 50 points. You can find them on the McGraw-Hill Connects along with everything else that you do here. And those cannot be dropped. And of course, you have a comprehensive cumulative final at the end. It's going to cover all your lecture material, and it's worth 150 points. The homework, semester exam, and final exams. I give all of this stuff once. If you miss the due date, you get a 0. I don't reopen things. I do not extend due dates. Everything's ready for you, and you know far in advance when things are due, and you can work ahead. So I do not allow for retakes. Now, if there's a catastrophic event that happens in your life, you can email me and we can discuss possibilities. But for the most part, because I allow homeworks to be dropped, labs to be dropped, a semester exam to be dropped, that can help to kind of mediate those issues where you may have forgotten, you didn't have enough time to finish it, yada, yada, yada. Now, my direct supervisor is actually the interim dean in math and science, Martha Donnelly. If you have any issues with me, you can contact Martha Donnelly. Now, how it's going to work is if you contact her, she's going to ask if you've actually talked to me about the situation first. If you respond with no, then she's going to tell you, please talk to her first before coming back to her. Now, if it's a situation where there's something with safety or you are uncomfortable with something that's happened, it's different. But chances are I've never had that situation arise. So with this being said, I always tell people I'm really open at communication. If you have an issue, please email me. I don't know if something's not working right. Sometimes I don't know. The best way for me to be informed is through students. If there's a suggestion on what you think could work better, I'm always open to new ideas. Now, telling me there's too much material is not a suggestion I'm open to because there's nothing I can do about that. But how it's presented or an assignment, if you think maybe something would work better, that's great. But the biggest way to fix issues is through communication. And if you never communicate that there's an issue with me, there's no way that we can rectify it. Now, even if I don't feel like I can fix the issue, I'm still going to respond to you. We're still going to talk about it. We're still going to figure out kind of where we both stand. And then if you're still not happy with whatever decision's been made, then I say, please go to Martha Donnelly and talk to her if you're not happy. But to save time, especially since it's such a short course, I always ask that you communicate with me first and go through chain of command. The department chair is not my supervisor. He is over part-time faculty. Now, the grade determination here just gives you an idea of how everything is one quick shot. Lecture exams, there's 4 exams, 80 points, that's 32% of the grade. Homework, 18 assignments, 10 points each, that's 18%. Learnsmart study modules, it's 18, 5 points each, that's 9% of your grade. That's the Learnsmart study modules with the lecture. The lab activities incorporate the Learnsmart labs, the physio activities in the histology. There's 16 Learnsmart labs, 15 physio labs, 1 histology, each worth 5 points. That's 160 points, which is 16% of the grade. Lab practicals are worth 50 points. There's 2, that's 10% of the grade. And the final exam is comprehensive and it's 15%. That totals 100%. Now, even though it shows you the percentages, if you notice, everything's by points. And so, to get an A on my course, you need to have 900 to 1,000 points. You can see right here. That's an A. To have a B, it's 800 to 899.9555 or 9999. A C is 700 to 799.9999. Same for D, 600 to 699.999. If you get this, I don't give grades, I assign them. You get the grade that you earn, and you earn the grade by what you perform on the assessments I give. It's pretty straightforward. So don't expect grades to be rounded up. Your final grade reflects an entire semester of effort. Make sure you work hard enough to earn the grade that you want. And just a reminder, I don't round, I don't curve. So don't expect either of those to happen at the end of the semester. Now, I always give a small amount of extra credit, and that extra credit is going to be worth more than 1 point. And to curve, it would be 0.5 and above, right? So if you do the extra credit, I don't have to curve because without the extra credit, you wouldn't have been close at all, right? And if you didn't do the extra credit, then you didn't do the small amount extra that you need to push your grade to the next level. So that's how I get around that. And for the most part, it works very well. Now, the withdrawal date, there's a W day that is in my syllabus. So if you are not happy with your grade by that day, please withdraw. That's after the official recording day. No credit will be awarded for the course. If you stop attending, you must withdraw at the registrations office prior to W day. If you stop attending class and you do not officially withdraw, you will receive an F. Remember, the only time I withdraw you is if I contact you first. Now, the 6-drop rule and the rest of this is standard, so you can read through this. I'm not going to go through in depth because this is every single syllabus at Lone Star has these parts in them. Now, I will tell you a big thing with academic integrity. I am very big on being honest, respectful, fair, and having accountability. So it's important to have both personal and academic honesty. So please do not cheat. Work on your own stuff. Do not cut and paste things. Do not fabricate sources or have unauthorized collaboration. If I have determined that there's any kind of academic dishonesty, I'm allowed to do the following. I can impose additional requirements for you on the class. You can receive a grade of 0 or F for the assignment. You can receive a grade of F for a course. And just to let you know, an instructor can do this for as small as cheating on a 10-point quiz, right? Whether they do it or not is completely up to them. But any kind of academic dishonesty can result in smudging your academic career long term, so keep that in mind. You can be withdrawn from the course or the program. You can even be expelled from the college, and if this happens, either two of these things, it will be permanently put on your academic record. So please just work with integrity, don't cheat, and this won't be a problem. If you have any kind of disability and you need accommodations, I need the correct forms to be emailed and sent to me. And if you don't get an email back from me that confirms that I've received them, please send them again. Please send those through D2L. You can look at our campus security policy here. FERPA, please do not have anybody, including your parents, call me asking about your grade, saying you're not going to be in class, or asking me for any information about you. I'm not allowed to give anything. And even if they have the correct form, I still will not release any information because it's impossible for me to go through and make sure the person that I have on the phone is the correct person that the form is made out for. And I actually have to go to a different office before I can even talk. So it's easier for the student to just contact me directly. And even if you do, I'm just going to reference you to a different office, and then you're going to have to talk to them and they'll talk to me. I've been instructed the easiest way to make sure that your information is kept private is to never speak to anyone other than the student. If you're going to email me, do it through a Lone Star email. And at the end of the course, please do the evaluation. So this is the tentative schedule. So let me tell you how this works so you can tell what's going on. So this is the lecture component here. This is the laboratory. So on today, Monday, May 14th, you're responsible for completing the introduction to the course. And there it's going to tell you how to register for the class. It's going to basically have you watch this video and go through your syllabus. It's going to have you do a welcome video so I can learn a little bit about you. And then you're going to get into Chapter 1, Introduction to Human Anatomy and Physiology. And so in Chapter 1 here, you're going to want to do your brief dynamic study modules and the homework, right? And then for the laboratory part, you'll notice that there's a Learnsmart lab that's for lab safety. So this right here, it tells you the date. The first one is the date that it's assigned. In the parentheses is the due date. So you can see for this week, everything is due on the 17th. And I've just put them over here so that you can see them a little bit better. On Tuesday, May 15th, you will be needing to complete Chapter 2, Chemical Basis of Life, and Chapter 3, Cells. That is for the lab component. So for each one of those, you're going to be doing the Learnsmart, I said brief dynamic study modules, wrong system. The Learnsmart modules along with the homework. On here, you'll notice that you have 4 labs to complete. They're all the Learnsmart labs. One is microscope, diffusion, osmosis, and mitosis. They're assigned on the 15th, but I've given you till the 17th to complete them. On Wednesday, you're assigned Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. In addition, you will be doing the Physio Activity 2, which is size and basal metabolic rate, and the histology lab. This guy right here, these physio labs, you will be completing them in the Connect system, but you will be submitting them or the PDF for them on D2L so that I can read through them and grade them. These are due on the 17th, right? At 11:59. So for the first week, Chapters 1 through 5 are due on the 17th, and your exam opens on the 17th. Now you can see this is when it's assigned, and I've given you till the 20th. So that's Sunday night at 11:59 that it's due. So that's how you read the schedule here. So let me go into the next one here. So this guy right here, on Friday, you have the Integumentary System. Now, what you should be doing is completing the exam on the 17th, but I've given you some wiggle room, especially in case people work and they want something kind of quiet to do their lab. So, their first exam. Now, this integumentary system is for the next unit. I've started it on Friday, May 18th. And basically, it's due that Sunday as well. Now, after that first week, I've given you some extra days in case people don't start the class on Monday like they should because it's the first week of course. But after that, you'll notice here that every single day that the assignment is basically assigned, it's due. So for instance, on Monday, May 21st, you have the skeletal system here. That's chapter 7. It's due on 11:59 on the 21st. The next day, Tuesday, on May 22nd, the muscular system is due on the 22nd. And you'll notice that you have all of these labs. There's no lab on this day, on that Monday. But on Tuesday, you're going to have the Learnsmart, skeletal muscle anatomy and physiology. And you're going to have 3 physio labs at 7, 8, and 5. These are, you need to upload on D2L once you complete them. They're all due on the 22nd. And then you'll notice for exam 2, it's open one day. It's that May 23rd. So this is due 11:59 p.m. that night. I know the due dates are very tight, but we're in a 4-week class where we have 20 different chapters we have to cover. So it is imperative that you keep on task. If you notice, Thursday, you'll have the nervous system and senses, chapter 9 and 10, due on the same day that it's assigned. And then you'll notice you have all these labs due. So you have the Learnsmart reflex lab. You have the physio activity 12, 14, 11, and 10. I put them in the order that I think that they work the best. And then you have the Learnsmart eye dissection and eye and vision. So those are all the lab components. On May 25th, it's a Friday, so I'm making the stuff due Sunday night, right? So you have the endocrine system. So here you're going to have the Learnsmart lecture modules and homework, and you're going to have Lab Practical 1, which is going to cover basically these top activities 1 through 10, which means chapters 1 through 10, right? So everything before this. And then you'll want to also complete the labs associated with the endocrine system. So they're assigned that Friday, but you have till Sunday night to complete them. Let's go to the last couple weeks here. You'll notice that Monday that you come back, don't forget the lab that's down here as well. That you'll have exam 3, that's going to include chapters 9 through 11. It's assigned on May 28th. It's due on May 28th. The W date is May 29th. So if you want to drop, you need to do it by that day. Now on that day, you have the blood and cardiovascular system that's due, along with these sets of labs. Now on May 30th, you only have the lymphatics and immunity. There's no labs here, right? May 31st, you have the next exam. And so basically, that next exam and the digestive system, I'm giving you till Sunday to complete at 11:59. So these dates on the bottom here is telling you when they're due, and the top again is telling you when I'm assigning them. And that last week, basically, you have June 4th, you're getting the respiratory system, and you have all of these guys right here included. June 5th, you have the urinary and water electrolyte and acid base balance. You have that one lab. And then you're going to have the next exam that's due on June 6th. and the reproductive system. Realize there's no lab there that day. June 7th, you're going to be doing all the labs from 19 and above. And then it's also due chapter 20 and these 2 labs. And then, of course, June 8th is your comprehensive final. And that's going to be from chapters 1 through 20. So it's a lot of material. It's going to feel overwhelming. But the great thing is, guys, as you get one thing done, if you feel like you can continue going, keep going. You can finish this as soon as you want. I've actually had someone finish this class in 2 weeks. Now, granted, they were working nonstop, anywhere from 12 to 15-hour days. But they got it done in a few weeks because of persistence. So the biggest thing I can tell you with this is you have to keep on track. Do not get behind, because if you get behind one day, it's equal to getting behind basically a couple weeks in a 16-week course. And so at this point, I've finished going through your syllabus, and I'm going to make another video here in a moment that is going to include how your class looks and works. So go ahead and check that out. Bye, guys.